Alright, so today the goal is twofold. One, to fill in all the little extra holes that I created, example A, but then also to cap off both the 4-inch well pipe and the 4-inch septic pipe prior to any more advancement on either of those, in order to make sure that no debris or animals or additional water, stuff like that, can continue to get down in there. So that'll be it. Alright, so I'm going to clear out around the pipe a little bit more so I can get in there to cut the pipe. Alright, so cleaned up that outside portion so I can slide this on after I shoved the conduit back in and chopped down the water pipe a little bit. But I'm also going to use a nifty tool that I have, which is the ferret. Not sure if you can see that. Which is basically a Wi-Fi camera with a little light on it, and wide lens view that I can shove down there just to see if there's anything else going on in the pipe, or any other obstructions, or potentially other areas where the pipe might be smashed. Well, that was pretty useful. So my little ferret Wi-Fi camera was able to show me exactly what was kind of going on down in there. Nothing too crazy. Seems like the water table is pretty high still. You can actually see it in the pipe a little bit, and there's a little piece of wood floating down at the bottom. But other than that, there's just like, a rock, maybe 2 inches in diameter. I should be able to fish that out at some point. But yeah, everything looks good inside. It doesn't look like the pipe's broken anywhere else down in there as far as I can tell. And it goes at a pretty steep angle down on the ground, so I doubt that they were able to damage it anymore when demolishing the house. So yeah, everything's looking good on the water side. All right, well, you can see what I got going on here. So I tucked the conduit back in there. I'll clear out more of this debris later on when I'm gonna dig out this area more. But also cut back I believe this is actually, I said HDPE, I think, in a prior video. I believe this is actually just black polyethylene, probably 160 PSI or 200 PSI. It seems to be about, let's check the approximate diameter here. So, I mean, it's a little squashed, but probably right around an inch or 3/4 of an inch. But I'll get a barbed fitting, heat that up, sweat it, and then push that barbed fitting in there, along with some worm gear clamps. But yeah, so at this point, we'll be able to prevent any additional debris or water from making its way in there. So that's just temporary, so no glue. It'll just make sure that it's protected. Alright, So we just completed capping off the well utility. Now we're going to clear out and cap off the septic. The whole point of this channel is to do small things well. And part of that is to think through what you're doing and make sure that what you're doing is correct. I did something incorrect when doing the capping off the well utility. Basically, as you're cutting through the pipe with something like this or a hacksaw, you're gonna get a lot of fine little white debris. Why does that matter? Well, for example, if it's in if that little fine debris gets into a well or the pipe that comes from a well, that means that you're going to have little white plastic debris in there. Not the biggest of deals, but it's just not right. So you should do something to make sure that that's not the case. With the septic system, if that white little piece of plastic make their way with sewage or water down to the septic holding tank, they'll settle in there, but then what will happen is eventually the septic pump will kick on and potentially suck that stuff up and send it straight into the sand mound. Huge deal? Not really, except for the fact that those little plastic particles could eventually clump up if there's enough of them and actually cause a clog either in your septic pump or, worst case scenario, probably somewhere in the septic mound, which then basically decreases the capability of your septic mound to percolate. So, to avoid that problem, here, before I cut through it, I'm going to take a plastic bag. I'm just going to shove it deeper in the hole. Normally you do this with a rag or something, but I have my nice little nifty Home Depot rag. There we go. So I didn't shove it very deep down, just deep enough where it's not going to allow for any of that debris to make its way down when I cap it off. And then later when I take the cap off to hook everything up, I'll simply clean out that excess plastic debris either with a vacuum or something else so it doesn't make its way into the system. All right, so we have the septic piped off as well, and one of these is for the septic alarm, the other one is for the septic pump. Not sure which is which, but my guess is the white is the septic pump. But yeah, so we got both of these piped off, one for the septic and one for the well. So it's been a productive day.